You are listening to One Happy Podcast, episode 67.
It's different living here than vacationing here, but I still think that you would like it. And remember, in the winter, to go outside, you just change from your inside flip-flops to your outside flip-flops.
I love it. I'm going to have to use that quote. Bon dia, and welcome to One Happy Podcast, the officially unofficial podcast of the island of Aruba. As always, I'm your host, Curtis Robinson, aka Aruba Kurt. And before we get started, I just want to take a second to not only thank you guys for being the absolute best audience possible, but to also ask that you send your thoughts and prayers to those being affected by Hurricane Matthew. Just like the rest of you, I've been clicking around Facebook looking at all the pictures of the damage that was done to the island. And while I will say that some of it looks pretty bad, it's actually nothing compared to what some of the other places in the direct path of Matthew will be feeling. But still, it makes me sad to see Aruba all scarred up like that. I want to take a minute to applaud the efforts of those there on the ground helping to pick up the pieces and put things back together. It's a pretty lonely feeling to be 2,000 miles away wishing you were able to help with the cleanup, but not really being able to do much more than send positive vibes and prayers to those who have been or will be impacted by the storm. Now, this week's episode of One Happy Podcast is one that I recorded while down on the island during my last visit. It was actually recorded Monday, September 12th to be exact. So if you aren't aware, every Monday evening at the Passions Beach Bar at the Amsterdam Manor, there's a meetup that was put together many years ago by members of some of the online bulletin boards. Now, it's hit or miss what attendance will be like, but this time down, I had already scheduled an interview with a friend who I met at a previous meetup. Her name is Ann Fontaine, and she lives on the island, at least part-time. Actually, you'll hear 4 voices throughout the interview. Ann, Maggie, another guy named Steve, and myself. Now, this was a lot of fun, but I will say that 4 people and only 2 microphones isn't necessarily ideal for recording a conversation. So sometimes it may be a little bit difficult for you to hear some of the voices. But I do think you'll enjoy the fact that this interview is unique because it's almost like you're sitting at a table next to us while we're having a conversation and you guys are eavesdropping. Or at least that's what I was going for. So let me know how I did with episode 67 of One Happy Podcast, my interview with part-time Aruba resident Ann Fontaine.
All right, if I move my head...
Wait, hold it up a little bit.
All
Okay,
right.
so this interview is going to be a little bit different than what we normally do because I am sitting at the Amsterdam Manor bar with Ann Fontaine, and we're going to just talk a little bit about Aruba. She's been visiting for how long?
First time we came was, 30 years ago.
30 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah?
So, just look at me. I'm old. Good thing it's not...
Nah, you look young to me.
I was just a babe. No. But no, 30 years ago, stayed at the Tamarind before it was all-inclusive. Mm-hmm. So one of the things we liked about here was, besides, of course, the beaches and the sunshine and everything to do, was the wonderful restaurants.
Yes.
My favorite thing. So, yeah, and we came on a charter, stayed a week. Our anniversary is in the summer. We came... Then the following year, the other charter company was running a good deal. This goes to show how old I am. $400 a person, airfare, and a week at the Concord.
Okay.
In those days, not all inclusive, but hotel. Can you imagine?
$400.
$400.
Oh man.
It's like I used to go to the movies for a nickel.
Right.
Okay. Same story. So when we saw that ad, we knew we had a wonderful time the first year here. How can you go wrong? Even by those days' standards, I mean, it really was a bargain, and it was cheaper than we paid the year before. So we came, had a wonderful time, totally different experience staying at the Concord. And at that time, timeshares were...
We're just starting to get going?
Yes, they were here. We went on this tour for Caribbean Palm Village, which is in Nord, near the Santa Ana Church. And we bought 3 weeks. Don't ask me why. I wouldn't. Well, I mean, I shouldn't say. Don't ask me why. We had time to go home and think about it. It wasn't high pressured, so that was good. I would not have done it.
Right.
I'm not that risk taker. My husband thought it was a wonderful idea, which is really not typical of him either. But anyhow, we did. And we came. I was in education, so summer is the best time.
Right.
And like I said, our anniversary is in the summer. We came for years, loved it. I still like it there.
Right.
You know, you can come and go wherever you want, but at the end of the day, you come back to your own. And of course, as at many timeshares, I mean, it's changed now. The same people, so you look forward to seeing.
Becomes like your family.
Oh my God, it does. You really look forward to seeing those people becoming, catch up.
Right.
Everybody's
You
on
see their kids
vacation.
grow up.
You see oh my goodness, yes, grow up, get married.
Wow.
So that's how we
Seems like
Right.
a lot of people make that spur of the moment decision though to do the timeshare.
Well, that's how we bought the house, true. So I'm telling you that's not like us.
No. You stay at the same place all the time.
Right.
And we also have Mizzou here, who I met last year.
Last
Yeah.
Right.
And you're down here for how long?
9 nights, 10 days this time. Come home Thursday.
Thursday? Oh.
So I've been here a week already.
Yeah. Enjoyed yourself?
Absolutely. Can't you tell? Got 10 pounds.
Right.
Isn't that,
He lost 10 pounds before vacation so he could gain it all back.
I tried that. Didn't work.
So do you still own at CPV?
No,
No?
we don't. We
Well, you own a house here now.
own the house.
Yeah. So
And
what's
that's part of what you were interested in, right? That
Yes.
perspective.
so what's that like owning your own property down here?
We like it. We have no regrets
Mm-hmm.
at all. But remember, it's just my perspective. Is it for everybody? No. My advice to people is come and stay for 2 or 3 months,
Right.
maybe a whole year, and rent. And nowadays, there are plenty of places to rent.
Mm-hmm.
At one time, I know people bought homes or built homes here with the idea of renting it out. That wasn't part. That was. I'm renting nothing. Been a landlord in New Hampshire. Don't want to be a
Right.
landlord again.
Especially so far away.
Well, people do that. There's lots of people who own property, and then they're away. You're counting on somebody else. You don't know.
Right. You need a good property management company for that.
You do. And there are good ones, I believe, but like anything else, they get busy, take on maybe, it's just,
Sometimes they grow too
being
fast.
absentee,
Right.
it's not my thing, and I would never advise anybody to do it, but wouldn't stand in their way if they wanted to.
Right.
There's just a lot to it. And I also, we're U.S. citizens, never going to be anything different.
Right.
All right. I don't care. We know this is kind of an unusual time in the U.S. Doesn't matter.
Right. I get it.
I have a sister who lives in Canada, and we tease about her finding a spot for us. I'm just not leaving. Okay.
Right.
So all that being said, we own a condo in New Hampshire, a small one, and we're have had it for years and very happy with it. But condos are risky also. In the States, the bank, if you're borrowing money, the bank does the work for you. They have to see, you may not know this, but they have to see a mound of paperwork from the condo association. Are people paying their monthly fees? What's their, what do you call it, reserve look like? What about repairs?
Okay.
Blah, blah, blah. So it would be, but here you would have to do your own.
Right. Your own legwork.
Your own legwork. Maybe the notary would do it for you, but I've just heard
Right. That's putting a lot of trust in
stories.
someone.
Here you're going to draw different cultures. Nothing wrong with them, but they don't. It doesn't work the same way as it does in the U.S. People buy into condos and they don't understand about the monthly fee.
Right.
Not U.S. people.
Right,
They
just-
understand, but they don't understand. They think if they're not here, they don't have to pay the fee, is what I've heard. Okay, of just what I've heard.
Right.
And so, but, you still got to clean the pool. You still have to trim the
Right.
grass. You still have to have security. And then our condo in New Hampshire is townhouse, so
Right.
whatever utilities our heat, and we control the heat and the air conditioning we use. I don't mind it cool in the winter, but it's also got to be cool in the summer. So no one wants to pay for my.
Right.
But here, if it's there, I think they're all multiple. No, I think they're like, I've only been in a couple, but you all, like Oceana, it's it's very nice.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
a very
we've stayed
nice
there
spot.
before.
Yeah, very nice. But you don't really control your own. You might have a temperature gauge, but as far as paying for it, I think it's
Okay.
all part of the.
Okay. So even if you don't
You know-
use it, yeah.
Yeah, which is the same in the U.S. If you're in a whatever they call
Like a high rise
high,
or something like
whatever
that.
they call those kinds of condos. The townhouses, you each have your own meter.
Mhm.
That's all. And maybe up at Gold Coast, some of those
Right.
are individual meters.
Seems like they would be.
No, because aren't they like townhouses?
Yeah, a lot of them are.
Yeah. I have. I call them our winter friends. They're really friends, but
Mhm.
a lot of people come in the winter, January, February. we're
snowbirds.
retired. Yeah, and they stay up there. I should ask them, and they like it very much. So,
Come down for it.
my husband stays most of the year. He only goes home for important events.
Okay.
Like one year we had 3 weddings
Mhm.
in 10 months, so back and forth.
Right.
I come and go because, as I told you, I'm fortunate my mother is still alive, 93, shortly to be 94. And so if I stayed like all 3, January, February, March, you can just hear it in her voice, So
Right.
I'm fortunate enough to be able to go back every
Right.
like 6 weeks or so. And more, this time I'm only here for a short time because also getting old and I have a knee that needs attention.
Okay.
Going back to have a look,
Yeah,
so
no, I
unfortunate.
understand.
But that's what's so nice.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay. Tell me. Glad you did it.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. Best thing I ever did.
Mhm.
Did 15 years in Finland.
Okay.
I mean, is
Good.
it you let it go that long until you finally make that decision?
Well, like the orthopedic guy I had said, hold off as long as you can.
Okay.
Okay, he looked at me and said, you can't do with it anymore.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah. Go ahead. It's all right to say it.
back then,
Still the same.
he said your body could only probably take 2 knee replacements.
Mhm.
So the longer you wait, okay, and if you need another one, by the time you need a third, I said, hopefully I'm gonna die on you, right?
Yes.
So
Right.
you don't need a third.
Right.
Right.
But yeah,
Yeah. This
best
is.
thing I ever did.
Yeah. I'm not doing anything this time. It isn't the pain. It's the stiffness
Mhm.
and not being able. Who cares? Right? Who cares?
Yeah, I can cut this
But
out.
anyhow, it fits in because haven't anything done major. We have good.
Right.
Why would I? I have nothing. Again, I would have no problem. I would say as much. What is this? I'd say about 15 years ago, a good friend at Caribbean Palm, when we stayed at Caribbean Palm Village, had a massive heart attack. They saved his life here.
Really.
So if it was that good then, it's.
Right. Now I've heard good things
You
about
know,
the medical.
Oh, yeah. So I just want to be clear. It's just easier to do all those things
Right.
in the States. And
Yeah, I have a friend there now getting her back looked at
yeah.
because she has to get something done.
Here? Or
No, back in the States.
there?
Yeah, she flew back to Massachusetts.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, those of us in the Northeast, right? Everybody's sitting here in Delaware, we've got good medical care there. We're not.
Things have changed though with the medical profession with this. I mean, I have my knee replaced. Okay, I don't know what you're having done. Okay.
Nothing right now, but
I mean, but
another
eventually-
look at, yes.
Oh,
go
okay,
ahead.
look at, yeah.
Eventually. So you had it replaced,
I had
but
it
what's
replaced.
different now?
In that when I had mine done, this was right after Sandy.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I was admitted to the hospital on Tuesday. Had the operation Tuesday, and I was in the hospital until Friday morning, and sent to rehab for a week. I was in rehab facility for a week, and then rehab facility, and then home or whatever. Now, people are having it done now. You're in a hospital. It's a 1 day in and out, And if you have to go back for rehab or a checkup, it's up to you to get back to the doctor, hospital, surgeon for recheck. And it's up to you to do your own rehab. Okay? And it's like, rehab is a big thing. That's why I felt it helped me out tremendously after surgery.
Yes.
Was the rehab. And I was diligent about doing it.
Yes.
But now I hear people that either in or out the same day. And they have to go back in 2 days to look. The doctors look at the stitches, and they just go back in 2 days. How do you get there? How do you get back and forth? You know?
Yes.
And a rehab, all on your own. So at least that's in my area.
In your area.
My area.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
also think when you do it on your own, people are more likely to be lax
On getting it done.
to care of them.
Or what the PT's like down here. The
Here,
physical therapy here.
I don't know. My husband has a regular doctor here whom he trusts, and then he just happened. This isn't PT, but needed some chiropractic work, and been very happy. But I don't know about PT. I'm
Well, it's just easier if you can go back home for it.
I just think so. I just think so.
I get it.
So, but if there was ever an emergency or anything major, I don't worry. I believe.
Right. So down here, your home is a freestanding home, right?
Yes.
Yes, you just
On
prefer it that
property
way?
land. I do. I laugh because, hey, let's face it, it's hard. I love my husband dearly. It's hard enough getting along with one person, living in a condo and getting along. No.
No, I get it. No, I completely
I know,
get
I'm
that.
sure.
Back home, we live like on top of people on top of people, and it's just
Yeah. Yeah, I
Not
mean,
my
like
thing.
I say, we have a condo in New Hampshire, but their townhouses, they're spread out. It works, But no, yes, freestanding home.
How long
on
have you owned?
property land. I would say about 8 years.
8 years.
Yeah.
So, what finally made you make that decision?
Another spur of the moment. We should just always do things by spur of the moment. It
Why
seems to work. It has when you beat it to death thinking about it. Right? You don't. You can find 10 reasons not to.
You always find reasons not to.
Right.
That's right. Or things that make you nervous. And this made me nervous. I think
So when you say spur of the moment, like explain that.
my idea.
Like you're just driving down the street and you see it for sale
Pretty
sign.
much. No, my idea of spur of the moment. All right. The first year we were retired, my idea of retirement was to not be living by somebody else's calendar.
Okay.
All right? It's a simple little thing. So, for example, the 1st October, you know how it's a day like this in the Northeast? It might be cold for a while and say, October. I just drove to the coast 45 minutes I thought, just because I can. So part of that thought was, let's rent someplace in Aruba. It's a place we know. Let's see if we can find a rental for a month. Let's just go away for a month because we can. Just because we can. So anyhow, long story short, we found this house in the neighborhood, not the house we bought.
Okay.
But, and again, it was bulletin board contacts. This person and knows this person. Isn't it interesting?
Right.
How the various bulletin boards.
Yeah, I'm finding that out now.
Have
Making all
brought
these different
people-
connections.
Yeah, and that's exactly how this whole house thing worked out. So we rented this house in this neighborhood for a month, and we took rides around, and just we were having a good time. One day I was at the beach. My husband was driving around. He just found the house that we bought. He said, "Boy, there's this really cool house." Well, it is kind of cool. Like, so what? I just go along with it. Then he contacts a realtor. Well, I don't want to waste somebody's time.
Right.
But he's contacted a realtor. You go, you see the house. The house needs work.
Okay.
Okay. Coincidentally, across the street from where we were staying, they were building a new house. He was watching that, sitting on the front porch, watching that go up, talked to that contractor, asked the contractor to look at the house. Now we're up to my knees. We're getting in a little deeper. Wait a minute. So we go with this contractor to look at the house. All right. I don't want any part of it.
But you're just getting in deeper and deeper.
Yeah, but also, right? Supportive partner. I know something is going to happen that he's going to say, no, this isn't a good idea. So I just go along. So I said to him, so what's...
I said, we're not like that.
Well, I was going along, trying not to be the wet blanket. He was excited. Yeah. Well, see? Take a tip. It might work out.
Yeah, I might end up down here too.
Yeah. Or another dream that you might have. The contractor said he would give my husband an estimate but so privately, we weren't anywhere near the contractor. I mean, we were in our own little corner of the world.
Right.
They said, so what's your top price of the there's the price of the house. And he told me, and I'll be darned if that contractor didn't come in about $5,000 less.
Really?
Yeah, no way. Now, fast forward ahead, as anybody sitting here knows, when push came to shove and it was all done, it still cost 50% more than
Right.
that. Okay. But at the time. Okay.
Makes more sense now.
Oh, of course. But at the time. Well, really, have you ever known a project that came in? Not many.
Doesn't
right?
happen.
My brother's a civil engineer. Maybe his projects come under. Are you a civil engineer? No.
I'm a land surveyor. So
Oh, okay. So you know exactly. But I still have. So he comes in with the cost, right? But I still have one more out, and that is Mark, our financial planner. Glenn says, "We'll see what Mark says." Oh, Mark, I think
Mark's going to say no.
Mark's going to say you are freaking nuts.
He's going to put the kibosh on all
That's
this.
right. So I go, okay, that's a good idea. We'll ask Mark. Well, the plan was when we retired, we sold one property, went into the condo, which we had for a while, and our plan was to buy another home in New Hampshire. So anyhow, Mark's words were, I don't see any reason why you can't do that as long as you understand you're not buying another house in New Hampshire also. So it's up to you. So, well, you know what? You say, that's rats, but Mark has served us well. So my thing is that I don't always have a lot of faith in my husband and I. I don't mean that in
Right,
a
no,
bad,
I
but
know
you know
what
what I
you
mean?
mean.
But what do we know? But if Mark thinks we can survive and do this, all right.
Then
and
it's
then
meant
this
to be.
was then the little twist here, and this was 2008 when the bottom dropped. But
Right.
we were okay. So anyhow, the renovation costs more. It was a learning experience. I learned a lot about managing teams of people, finding your way around, and we don't often think of Aruba as a foreign country as we do.
Right, because it's so comfortable here.
But things, believe me, operate differently.
Right.
Not in a bad way, just
in
how
a different
they
way.
operate. And, I mean, there's a building where they have the electrical plans for any house that's been built, or at least back in those days, they thought, oh, there is such a thing? And where is this? So, you go. So it was a wonderful experience in the long run. It took
Right.
time. There's contract.
So how long was the process from where you started
I would
until...
say probably we signed the papers in March, and I would have been the following fall. We weren't in any hurry. Could you have lived there? Yes, you could have.
Right.
I wasn't living there until
I get it.
those little things like the kitchen was going to be repaired, and then I came down in May to kind of make some decisions, and the contractor says, we can't really repair the kitchen after all. If you'd seen those cabinets, the good news was we weren't going to repair them. So, those kinds of decisions, but regrets, none. Absolutely none.
Yeah.
There were moments when you're looking for everything, because we bought everything.
Right. So
here.
how difficult is that furnishing a home?
Difficult? It's not hard at all,
No.
and it's easier now. But we didn't want to go way overboard.
Right.
But we had our kitchen. There's imported kitchens. People are enamored with the Italian kitchen, the German, and we looked at those first, but we came across a company here. I don't make a lot of recommendations. What is it, BSS, I think. They're near Ling's. Honest to goodness, that was word of mouth from the person we rented who supervised the house that we rented. Her sister had built a house. That man came in and he measured everything. This sounds silly, maybe, to some people, but when we were looking at the pre-made homes, kitchens,
right.
There's nothing wrong with them. They were good quality, but you can get what you get. They come like this size, this size,
right.
this size. They're not custom made. So the sink there's a window, the sink, and the sink was going to be off center. And that was making me nuts.
It would drive you crazy, yeah.
And I'm not fastidious. I mean, I'm not. But just that whole idea.
Certain things.
I just, So when we had this, the man from BSS, very good, come, I said, now, can the sink be like right in the middle, like centered? He looked at me like, oh my God. Do I need her business or not?
Right.
But he was very good.
That's
Little
cool.
things like the floor, we weren't replacing floor tile. And it's a white with gray with like flecks, little swirls of peach.
Okay.
And a little upright. So it sounds odd, but I didn't know whether we wanted white cabinets or cream. He brought in like a whole big piece of each. When there's and opened all the
right.
window, blinds. Anyhow, whether you're here or somewhere else, that's the kind of person you want doing the work for you.
So
Anyhow,
what did you decide on?
the cream.
Okay.
Yeah, as soon as he put the cream and the white and opened all the blinds,
You
there
just
was
knew
no
it.
way. Yeah, the white would have been sunglasses all the time.
Right.
Cream toe. Yeah. So word of mouth. Yeah. No, it's not hard.
No.
It's not hard to furnish or. And we bought some things secondhand, and I don't know if they're still in existence, but we had all our mattresses made here on the island.
Okay.
The store isn't in the same spot, but we don't happen to need any, so I don't know if they
right.
move. But,
Hey,
so,
people can always look it up.
Yeah, you can. And so things like that. What's hard is getting good, consistent plumbers, electricians, and the airco people. But
So
once you get them, why? I honestly don't know. We haven't needed him in a while, but we have a good plumber. I recommended him to somebody. I said, use my name because he likes us, And if he's, I'll be coming. Never came. They called twice. I don't know.
Huh.
I don't know if they have enough business. I don't know.
Right.
I really don't have an answer.
I think there's just a few people that are like really good and everybody would use them.
I think that's probably what it is, but also culturally, they'll tell. I run into a lot of people that tell you what you want to hear.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Right. So no intentions of following through.
No, and they don't mean any harm.
Right.
They don't. It's just they really have, like, I think he has all the work that he can do. Just say that. That's the way we live. Or, right. Northeast, just say, I wish I could. I cannot.
Well, maybe in his mind he's thinking that he can find a way to fit you in.
Probably.
Probably.
But there are some good. We've had to, in the past few years, we've had to have some cement work done. We just put pavers in out front. We've been very happy with one of the bigger companies there's lots of people that will go around and give you a price, but, they may not be here next Thursday.
Right.
So we have had good experience, decent prices dealing with some of the bigger
Okay.
companies. I
So
will say that.
is that what would you say that's probably the toughest thing about moving down here, about owning a home down here?
No, the toughest thing is there's no Sunday New York Times and no TJ Maxx. Okay, but other than that, yeah, I think it might be the same if you move to a whole new location in the U.S. too.
Right.
If you don't have contacts
Right.
there, like if I went to Pennsylvania, who am I gonna? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Although you could use Angie's List, right? That's supposed to be.
I use Angie's List for quite a few things.
And neither one of us work for Angie.
No.
But is that a good source?
I like it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we found some pretty good
Okay.
contractors through it.
All right, that's good to know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you
Here
need
it's-
something like that down here.
They should, and here it's word of mouth. Ann's
There
list.
you
No,
go.
Ann does not
we'll be
want to
partners.
work. Ann does not want to work, and she doesn't want to be responsible for somebody else's.
Put your name on it. I'll do the work. You tell
All
me
right.
what to say.
There you go. Business is
Oh,
born.
there we go. There we go. There we go. I'll tell you, though, I do think that that's probably, I don't know if it would be a moneymaker because I don't know enough about the business, but that would be really good to have people who do good work and will come, or if they cannot take you on, will just plain say sorry.
Right, because that's
Or-
all it takes. People just want honesty.
Well, that's it. And we had to have some work done in my mother's home back, and they said, yes, we can do it. This was like in April, but we can't do it till August. Okay. We needed it done right away.
Right, so you just know that
Yeah,
that's the
but
situation.
the good news is their next project went out, so we ended up it was behind, so we ended up having. But at least they told you, all right, we can do it. Here's our price, but we cannot do it till then.
Can I ask you a question? No, it's okay. No, it's all right. It's just going back and forth and spending that much time here on the island. Is it difficult with the government to get your permits or your extended visas and stuff like that to stay longer than 3 months?
Yes and no. You can stay. No, I mean, things change as we sit here and speak now.
Right.
Okay, that's my philosophy of what we've run into. But you can stay 6 months as a tourist.
Okay.
You have to. It doesn't have to be. When we first started, some of it they were trying to change it to 180 days, but not in a calendar year. I figured out. I said, "Do you know that there's gonna be a time I won't be able to be here at all." You know,
Right.
But I'm
Yeah,
not
you'll run
great
out of
at
time.
math, but you know. So, but now it's right to the best of my knowledge, as of today, it's 180 days in a calendar year. You can stay as a tourist. If you're going to stay that long, you probably are going to have to apply at Demas. The immigration people at the airport allow you in or not.
Okay.
And people get all worked up about that. It's the same in the U.S. I can tell you a story about my niece in Canada and her. I'll just tell you quickly. Her roommate from college, a lovely girl, graphic artist, had a job in New York City. The U.S. immigration, I have no problem saying this, in Toronto would not let her in. Because, same attitude as here, I get it, there's somebody in the U.S. that can fill that job.
Right.
And she stayed with my sister. Her family lived in Vancouver. Never got, they tried everything, the company. So, in defense of the Aruba immigration, they make the decision.
Right.
And one time I wanted to stay 32 days, and it took me an hour and a half to get out of, all right? That was before I had residency. But
Right.
so it's up to them. So they would probably but they'll let you in for 30, and then you go to Demas and with the paperwork,
And you get
that
permission
was
for-
not a problem. But you need certain documents like a return ticket, 99 copies of pages of your passport. That doesn't matter. You'd have that. You have to have medical insurance.
Okay.
And they were very happy with just the insurance that you get if you just sign up on the airfare thing. You know
Okay.
what I mean? I didn't. That would cover you
Right.
here.
Just travel
They
insurance.
It has to. They have to be sure, and I don't blame them. They got enough issues. They
Right.
don't need to be taking
Definitely.
on somebody else's, as any country does, I guess. So, and I don't remember what else I needed. A place to stay.
Right.
You know, you don't have to own. You just have to have
A long-term
like a
rental.
timeshare
Mhm.
thing or a rental agreement or something. You don't have to own. So that's 180 days in a calendar year. We applied for residency, which allows us to stay as long as we want. And we jumped through the hoops, and the hoops were the same for 3 years, and then the hoops changed. And after we even went to the minister, we just give them everything. We just give them what they want.
Right.
They used to accept financial records, like from the financial, you know. They want you to have like a bank account with. They want you to have a bank account with, I don't know,
X amount of.
dollars. It might be 40. It's fairly high. Well, all right. Who
Yeah.
keeps the money in the?
I think it's
Yeah,
about
but-
40,000
Yeah, but
US.
who keeps that? Well, maybe you do. I don't keep that kind of money in the bank that
Right.
pays 0.5 at best,
Right.
1% on a good day. And then they're educated here. So we thought, well, we'll just shift in and shift out. No. You're not shifting in and shifting out. Anyway, we just use our tax form to prove our income. At first, I hated to do it, but look, we've been caught up in Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield at home, and we're caught up in the Office of Personnel Management of the U.S. government. The whole world knows our Social Security.
Right.
What can I say? Well, it's the way it is in the day of. So, we do. So it's not, and then we renew every year. And
Now, after a certain number of years,
Yes.
do you no longer have to do that?
you don't have to, and it used to be 10, and now it's 7.
Okay.
However, we choose to just keep renewing because if we go with the permanent papers, then we're locked into having to belong to AZV, which is their socialized health care.
Okay.
And I don't want to be paying for any more help. That's based on your income.
Right.
You pay a percentage. We have good health care.
So it's just easier.
I don't want, I'd like to not do the paperwork every year, but that now they accept from our health insurance company a letter every year that says we have health coverage, worldwide health coverage, and they accept that. But if you go with these permanent papers, you're not a citizen, but it's just
Right.
It's a Dutch word. I wouldn't know it. Permanent papers. Then there's no exception on the health care. So I'd rather do the paperwork every year.
Right.
And
Small price to pay.
It is. I think so. It is. And of course, I'm also a rule follower. I know people that
Bend them.
don't, but I got to sleep nights. I'm
Right.
I'm
No, I
an
get
oldest child. I wasn't educated. There's a rule. You follow it. Right? That's life, and then I don't worry about it. So there's the details. But no, I don't think it's hard. And there are companies, if you want to stay more than 108, if you want to be able to come and go in the year, no. And there are good, that I feel very comfortable recommending, good people that you pay for them to do the paperwork, but it's worth every penny.
That's what I hear.
Could you copy it yourself? Yes, but like the year we had trouble, they took us to they were with us all and we had trouble only because they changed what they would accept and we were digging our heels in. That's all. I mean, and my attitude, arrogant, isn't it? Who wouldn't want us? As my husband said, all we do is spend.
Right.
Well, no, but we're the kinds of people, retired people, or we're not going to put children in the school system. We don't need anything.
Right,
All
we're not
we do
taking
is-
out,
We're
you're
not-
just-
We're going to hire locally. We're more apt to go to the restaurants that are run by. They're the ones you might go to too, but they're run by people who live here.
Right.
Been
Not
here for
the
years.
not the chains that came down from the
Sure.
U.S. Yeah.
Not that they're not worthy.
I'm sure they're good,
owned by somebody that probably is here too. But yeah, we just, like I said, we just spend. Really, we don't take anything. And property taxes are low. Of course, I come from New Hampshire, where we fund the whole world on property taxes.
You're from Jersey, yeah?
Jersey. Oh, okay. Well, don't even. All right. Okay. Okay. Thank you. I do thank you. But I will say this:
Appreciate that.
if that's a question that you're thinking about, don't even bat an eye. Sorry.
Go ahead. I want to shift gears anyway a little bit, because you mentioned that about the restaurants that you go to. Because when you're down here long term. You don't live like a tourist.
No.
You live more like a local. So let's talk a little bit more about some of the things some of the places you go to.
Well, probably some that you do.
We try and get out a little bit, but I'm sure not as much as
Well,
you.
It depends. I think if I'm doing it for a special dinner, I would go to the places you do.
Right.
My new favorite is Amuse Bistro, which I did not.
Which has moved.
Well, that's why, I never gave it a try up at Playa Linda. No offense, I know Paris and blah, blah, blah. I'm just not having a nice meal and sitting on the road.
That's a big
Okay?
complaint from a lot of people.
I'm just not doing it. I don't mind having my hamburger at the side of the road.
Right.
But, it's just me. I mean,
No, there's a lot of
Daniel's
people
is
that have
very,
mentioned that.
very popular.
True.
All right? And they say it's good. I've never been. I'm not criticizing them. Daniel's? I mean, I'm not criticizing them. I'm just probably not going to go because... So I never went to Amuse. It was spicy. I never went to Amuse when it was up here.
Yeah, you want to...
Yeah. When it was up here. But we used to like Arubaville.
Right. We
Where
never made it to that.
Well,
We wanted to go there and then it closed down.
yeah, and we liked Arubaville, loved the setting, and and the food was good. And then when Amuse went down there, gonna give it a try. The food is excellent. It's wonderful. It's for me, it's special times.
Right. So
We're just going out. We used.
we're interested in like the more local places, because like this trip was an extra trip for us.
Yeah.
So we're supposed to be doing it more economically than we normally would.
Well, all right. This will be like scratching nails on a board to some people. But one of my favorites, if I'm just going to go out to eat, like I'm not cooking. I don't mind cooking, but
Right.
been cooking for years.
Don't look at her. She doesn't cook.
Well,
She hasn't cooked a
whoever
meal in 15 years.
Oh, all right. But, sometimes you just don't want to cook. Or you've been home, we live here. So maybe we have pest. My mother gets a kick out of this. We have pest control coming on Thursday, so we're going to clean. We're on marathon cleaning Tuesday and Wednesday. Because you don't want to be washing the floor the day they've sprayed or,
Right.
raking the lawn or, whatever on the days that they've sprayed. Anyhow, that's it. So you just want to get out. I love Hung Paradise anyhow in town, Chinese. I like that a lot.
Okay.
To me, it's good Chinese food. Not high end, but not greasy. I like the people. We've watched their son grow up. He used to sit in the chair and do his homework.
Yeah.
Now he's been to the culinary school. He's thinking of going on. I mean,
That's
really,
very cool.
it's amazing how if you have children, we don't, but 8 or 9 years, they go from little to,
Yeah.
oh my.
To pains in the butt. I'm talking about her children.
and they're
Not
coming
anymore.
the next time, right?
Yes, they
That's
are.
right. Okay. So we like that.
Wait, hold on. They're coming in next time unless we fit another one between now and March.
all right. Well, they're
Shut down come October.
Yeah, true.
We don't come back to life until the end of February.
Well, yeah.
what do you do?
Retail.
Oh.
Well, he's internet retail and
Oh yeah. So
So either way, we won't see each
Yeah.
other once
Yeah.
November hits.
yeah, big.
February.
But that's good because that means business is good, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's what we'll wish for you, that you don't see each other for 2 or 3 months because you're so swamped with
Ships
work.
passing in the night.
Yeah, well, all right. Well, on one of the future trips, your children are coming. Yes.
They're coming down to March.
Yeah.
February or March.
Oh, all right.
As soon as we're free again, they'll come down with us.
That's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We had a family marriage, so it postponed them coming. They were supposed to come this summer, but I get 6 weeks of vacation. They get, what, 1 or 2?
That's fine. So back to the restaurants.
Well, have you tried that Don? Is it Don Jacinto?
I've seen it, Don Jacinto.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's kind of interesting. I mean, this is not gourmet, you know.
What kind of food?
Is it Peruvian?
I don't know what it is.
It's like grilled thing. You can get, like, there are some local things that I don't like because it's like a lot of food piled up on a plate, you know, like meat and French fries.
Right, well,
and,
that's right up my alley.
okay. But this, you should give it a try. First of all, it said cafeteria. And so the time we stopped there, that's what I was expecting, cafeteria. But no, it's pretty nice in there. You sit at tables. And if the waitress doesn't truly understand you, they have good pictures. And so if she doesn't, isn't strong in English, it's good. I think it's worth a try.
I like
And
the
it's
place where I
very-
have to point.
Yeah. Or they'll send somebody over.
Right?
Yeah. Or they'll send someone over. I mean, I like Sultan's. Have you been to Sultan's?
We haven't been. We keep trying to go to the Sultan.
Have you ever been there?
It's always either closed or we're just not in the mood
Yeah,
at the time.
they're. I do think they close in the afternoon.
Yeah, they close for like a period of time.
Yes, yeah, and the Chinese does now too, because someone said, "Oh, I think they're on vacation." No, they're not on vacation. They close from like 2:30 to 5.
Yeah, something like that's what the Sultan's like
and
too.
Sultan's, yeah, it's Sultan's. It's very casual. I like the food fine. If you like things like, what would it be? Lebanese kind of.
Well, I'm more experimental than she is.
You would, you
Shawarma.
like it, even yeah, that kind of. The hummus is great. The tabbouleh is great. The bread is to. I don't like that term. You don't die for food, but you know the
She
bread
says
is
that a lot.
really good. The bread is good. You know, yeah, and it's well worth the.
Yeah, because those are the types of
stuff.
places we're looking for right now. I
Yeah.
think the more we come down, the more we're looking for places that aren't necessarily what you spend a lot of money on.
Yes,
You know, more like
yes.
local type places.
If you're just looking for, well, here's another thing. There's two things. At Alhambra, Twist of Flavors is running a good deal through September. They're running their early bird all night. We were just
All night,
there the other, all night.
Right.
There's like 4 choices for $26, 3 courses. There's that. But right across is that little like market.
Okay.
It's a little right. It's in the Alhambra complex. And if you're just looking for burger and fries, I think it's watch somebody. But the times we've been there recently, I think it's one of the best burgers on the island.
Really?
Don't say that. No, I got it
Oh,
wrong.
and I'm not trying to.
The
I'm-
best burger on the island.
I think it's good. I think it's good. You order inside, and then he gives you a paper, and you pay the girl. And,
Okay.
then you sit out. He'll bring it, and I think they have that in wraps. And you only need fries. Are my downfall. If you told me you can never have chocolate again, I can live. You told me never have a fry.
I'd be the same way.
Yeah, it gets real touchy. Get out of my way. But anyhow, as much as I love them, you only need one order. That's been our experience.
Okay.
You only need, even if you love them, you only need one order.
You might be stopping past there tonight.
Yeah, it really. It's if you're.
Do they have
looking-
takeout?
Yeah. The burger you can take
Okay.
out, and the fries,
Let me
and
ask you a question. Have you ever had a Urataka burger?
a what?
Urataka?
No. You mean at that place? Up
The
near-
Urataka Center?
No, I've never had their burger.
They're really good.
Are they? Oh well, I have no comparison. We've only stopped there once for pizza,
The
which we
pizza's
like,
delicious.
which we like very much. But no, I've not had
I think our
Oh.
top 2 right now are local store and Urataka.
for burgers. Oh, all right. Well, then I don't know. I was going to mention local store. I don't know if this is better than local store.
It's still
but
something
it's
that I
good.
like to try.
If
It's
you.
just something about hamburgers. You can get an okay hamburger, and it's just like, but
yeah.
a
Good-
really good
Oh,
hamburger.
I'm with you. Pizza, French fries, hamburger, cheap date.
I love
That's
it.
what I. No, really.
Good.
It had no. It can't be just something frozen from a package in the middle.
Right.
No.
Yeah,
no,
definitely
no,
not.
no. That doesn't count. That doesn't count. And another spot that's good. Have you been to the general store cafe?
No,
Well, they only
never even heard of it.
Well, you know, if you're heading to the airport, just before Price Mart, which will be on your left. This is on your left. It's just before it.
Okay.
And in the area of Aruba Bank, I think it's after that. All right, general store. It's a hardware store. Now, the view is, if you want it, it's during the day. The view was great. I mean, you can sit in there and look out at, because you can see the water, but anyway. But anyhow, I'm not fond of wraps. If I went to your house and you served it, it would be fine.
Right.
To me, they make the best wrap. It doesn't fall apart. Anyhow, you have to be there between. They come in about. It's a nice cafe. The general store is a hardware store.
Right.
The cafe has changed twice. It's to the right as you walk in. It used to be smaller. Now they've enlarged it. It's very popular. And they also serve about 6 different hot meals every day.
Okay.
Now, even if you just stopped in, you can get a menu. All right, because maybe what they're having the day you stop in, you're not interested in. But beautiful salads. Great wraps. I love the chicken and the Asian chicken and the roast beef.
Okay.
And,
Roast beef's right at my alley.
all right. And I've had hot dishes from there. Some I don't care for, but
Right.
it's just personal. There's nothing wrong with them. It's just not what we like.
And what price am I looking to pay there?
The wraps have gone up. I think the wraps might be 11 florins, so that'd be
that's
about $6.
still cheap, yeah.
No French fries, but bag of chips. No,
It'll do. It'll do.
In a pinch. But sometimes, we get the hot meal from there and just take it home and heat it up at dinner time.
Yes.
So it's worth a stop if you want local flavor.
Yeah, I think the more we come down, the more we're looking. It's almost like we want to see what it's like to live here without actually taking the plunge to live here yet.
Yeah. Well, and then you go to the grocery store and you cook.
Yeah, we do that.
But you see if you like it. There you go, right? So, and you can get most. I mean, the grocery stores have changed over the.
Oh, they're fantastic.
They're great. No problem. No problem. I get what I want. And
How often do you come down?
Once a year.
Once a year?
Once a year. We used to come down in August for my birthday. And then we got, I shouldn't say tired of the U.S. kids. Like,
Yeah.
we're from Jersey. Okay. And, so school's vacation.
Yeah.
And everybody seemed like they were from New York or Boston. Okay.
True.
So then we decided to start coming down. Yeah. I think we decided to come down in September after Labor Day because our anniversary is the 9th. So, and that was all the U.S. kids are back. Maybe the Venezuelan vacationers are maybe still here, maybe not. So, and it's a little quieter.
It is quieter now. Very quiet.
Yes. And that's,
I'm digging it.
it was a little busier last week, didn't you think? And then
Okay.
now it's even less. September and May are my 2 favorite months.
Yeah.
Because there's no like Easter is never in May. April vacation for the Northeast, they're gone. It's over. Nobody started the summer yet. And right now, this is a lovely time of the year.
Yes. We come down during high season and low season. I do enjoy high season
I
for
do
different
too.
reasons. But,
do
man,
too.
this is just the best.
It is.
You have the whole island to yourself.
So
Yeah.
you do.
I have yet to call for reservations except for Madame Jeanette's.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, and that wasn't a problem. And even I think last night, here is Wednesday, so they're going home on Thursday night. We got reservations up at Barefoot. Okay, and
Yeah.
not a problem.
No.
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 I probably could have walked in
Yeah.
without a reservation. So, and that's what's nice about this time.
Yes.
You can wing it. You can go to any place you want and not have to have a reservation. Or if they say they can't take you, then when you're there, you make the reservation for the next night.
Yes.
So.
Yes. And there's something about people that vacation at this time of the year. Everybody just seems more
Laid back and
they do. In the winter, I think They're still shivering from being in
It
the
takes 3 days to
Northeast.
thaw out.
That's right.
Working now. Aren't here with their kids.
Right.
That's right. That's right.
Well, I'm sure we could probably talk for the next
Oh, we probably
several
could,
hours
but
on this.
give General Store a try. Give Sultan's a try.
Yeah, lots of great ideas.
Yeah.
And also some more things to think about as far as relocating, at least
Yeah.
part-time.
Yeah, I it's different living here than vacationing here, but I
Right.
still think that you would like it.
Oh, I'm
And
sure.
remember, in the winter, to
Yeah.
go outside, you just change from your inside flip-flops to your outside flip-flops.
I love it. I'm going to have to use that quote.
So let me ask you one question.
Yeah.
What's the difference for you living here versus vacationing here? What do you not do now that you used to do when you vacationed here?
I don't go to the beach every day, but I go every week at least twice.
So you still go to the beach?
Oh, yes. That's why we're here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if somebody who's like grown up in a place like this their whole life appreciates how beautiful something like this is.
I wonder about that.
I have neighbors. That's another thing. We're very happy where we live. We have had the same neighbors. We're on a short street. We're the only U.S. people.
Mm-hmm.
And our neighbors to the left and right and the two across the street are the same people. So it's not an area where people are renting out.
Right.
And you never know who's the
Right.
Okay. However,
You don't have riffraff like
well,
us.
Okay. No, but it can be I don't care where you are. If there's big turnover,
Right,
and
yeah.
who are
Yeah.
these
No,
people,
definitely.
and if they're partying all night,
Right.
and they all go to work, so we're probably up later than they are. But as an example, have they all lived here? They're younger on one side, I think so, always. But diagonally across, we're very close with them, and they vacation on the island at a couple of resorts. I don't know the last time they were at the beach. I'm not even sure they've been.
Interesting.
I took her. I went out. We were having girls' night out, and Mary likes fish, and we went up to Fishes and More, and where we parked and walking. You know how they have the tables and the kiosks with this thing. I lost her. She was overwhelmed. You'd have thought we were in New York City. I didn't know they had all this up here. I think a lot of people, local people, I think they appreciate what they have.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, but they go about their business.
Right.
And
Well, for us, this is just
it's-
as special
it's
as it
beautiful.
gets.
It's
You know?
beautiful. Look at it.
Home, if I lived near the shore, even the Jersey Shore, the Delaware Shore, I would spend as much time
Yes,
as I could on
yes,
the beach.
yes, I would too. But that's the other nice thing about here. It's never as busy as the Jersey Shore. We love Maine and Ogunquit where I am. You know,
Right.
towel to towel, I still love it. But when we have visitors, that's what they say. It's never crowded. Even when I think it's darn crowded,
Right.
it's not as crowded. So, yeah.
No, the beaches back home, they're crowded. Like, I don't think anybody here, like, even when a cruise ship comes in.
No, it's nothing like back
Because
home.
We saw, remember
Hi.
somebody put out pictures of, I think it was the Delaware beach, and they said something about, that's the same as Aruba in high season.
No.
No, I've been to Bethany Beach. And
Oh, you've been to Bethany?
Oh, yes, yep.
That's right around where we go.
Yeah.
We got
And
Cape
it's-
Henlopen.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Right,
It
but
is
it gets
beautiful.
crowded.
Well, Ogunquit, Maine, I love it.
Mhm.
But, it's not.
Yeah.
You know somebody's from New Jersey when they say they go down the shore.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Everybody else says they go down the beach.
Mhm.
And we're in Delaware, so it's really close, and a lot of the people that we know and work with, they're from New Jersey. So we'll be together in a group, and they will call it the shore, and we will call it the beach.
Oh, interesting.
Same place, though.
Interesting.
Same exact location.
Here it's the beach.
Yeah. And it is absolutely beautiful.
It is. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for joining me on this episode of the show.
Oh, you're welcome.
It'll probably be a pain in the butt to edit. Just from so many voices coming from different places, but it'll be a lot of fun. This was a lot of fun, and I will probably contact you again.
Anytime, it really is. But see, I'm better talking to a person than a machine.
Well, since
It was easy, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
but since I can't come down here all the time, the next time it might be you talking to a machine.
Okay, all right.
All right.
All right, thank you.
And thanks to you too, Mizzou.
Oh, you're welcome. Anytime.
What's your real name?
My real name is Steve.
Steve.
Mazurik.
Makes sense.
That's what the Mizzou actually came from high school nickname.
Okay.
And when my kids were in their high school, they were called Mizzou and Mizzou too because they were only a couple years apart. So yeah, that's where the Mizzou came from.
See, I always thought it was Missouri.
I did too.
No.
But then when I met you, you said you're from Jersey, and
Yes.
then my mind just blew up.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. Well, thank you for taking part in this too.
No problem.
And I'm probably gonna bother you in the future as well.
Just wake me up if I'm snoring on the beach.
Cool. Will do.
No,
Well, there you have it for episode 67 of One Happy Podcast, eavesdropping on our conversation at the Passions Beach Bar. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. I want to thank Ann, Steve, and Maggie for being part of this show, and also you guys for your continued support, which is the reason why I keep this podcast going. Every month, One Happy Podcast is being downloaded more than the last, which is a great feeling, and already this month it's trending way, way up. Now, we talked about a lot on this episode of the show, but if you missed something, don't worry about it because, as always, I took the notes so that you don't have to. And they can be found at onehappypodcast.com/EP67. OneHappyPodcast.com is the flagship for all things podcast related, so head on over there to check it out. There are a ton of episodes over there that you may not have listened to, so please do, as they're all about Aruba. And if you've made it this far, I'm assuming you love the island just as much as I do. At the very least, you should head over to sign up for the One Happy newsletter, which goes out once a week. Not only will you be wowed and amazed by how cool it is, but you'll also have the chance to win an article of Peace, Love, and Aruba merchandise, which is available at onehappypodcast.com/shop. Although that'll be moving to its own dedicated website soon. Also, if you'd like to be a guest on a future episode of the show, make sure you get in contact with me, and I promise you we'll have a lot of fun. So how do you get in contact with me? That's actually a good question. Well, there are a couple ways. First, you can head on over to the website at onehappypodcast.com and click the tab at the top that says Share Your Story. You can also send me an email at kurt@onehappypodcast.com. That's Kurt with a C. Or you can contact me via social media. On Facebook, you can go to www.facebook.com/onehappypodcast. On Twitter, I'm at ArubaKurt. And on my fledgling Instagram, you can find me by searching for One Happy Podcast. Just send me a message whichever way you choose, and we can discuss you guest starring on a future episode of the show. But, in the meantime, hit the music. Peace, love, and Aruba.